Thank you guys so much. Each one of you has been handpicked to be here. And I need you here because you were handpicked. Someone thought enough of you to bring you here. And they asked me to come and talk to you about, why the hell are you here? What is it in you, each one of you, no matter who you are? You were asked to be here. Daunting at best. Scary probably. Oh crap, now what do I do? Hopefully. When is the last time you sat down and spent 1 hour? Just 1 hour with someone that you've never met. You never had met them ever. Brand new to you. And you spent 1 hour with that person. And you found out about them. You got to know them. Why did you do that if you did it? Why haven't you done it if you have not? You ever done it? No? Yeah? Yeah? Not easy thing to do. Now, I want you in the next week to do that. And I mean it. You all have my number. We're going to make sure you have my number before we leave. And I need you to text me who it was, how old they were, and where were they from. You've got to get out of your box. You've got to be out there. You have to be meeting people. And I don't want you meeting somebody online and talking to them over the internet. I'm talking about face-to-face, eyeball to eyeball, voice to voice. I love technology. I want you to know I love it. I'm a big fan of it. My cell phone in my pocket right now is my office. I can do things on that cell phone today that 20 years ago I was incapable of doing unless I was sitting in my office. I am so grateful for technology that I can't tell you how much it means to me. And I'm learning more and more. And that's why I have started to lose some of the time that I sit down with someone face to face. On Facebook, I have 600 some friends. More than 400 of them I don't know. Never met them, don't know a thing about them, have no clue who they even are. But I know when their birthdays are. I know when their mom and dad's birthdays are because they tell me. Does that make a relationship? No. The Book of Life tells us what? Treat what? Your brother just as well as you treat yourself. Pretty close. Can you do that on Facebook? Can you do that on email? Can you do that over a text message? We need to be rubbing up against each other. Why do we need each other? Face to face, body to body, interaction. I need you to piss me off. That's why. I need you to make me mad. I need you to make me sad. I need you to make the gears of my personality start to turn. Because that's where I start to grow. And that's why each one of your little heinies, petite as they are, is in the chair with me up front today. Because you are capable of change. Have you changed today? Done anything that made you grow? Have you done anything today? You showed up early, didn't you? You were here and we weren't, were we? How about you? You changed today? I started on that challenge a while ago. I want to be a better person on April 30 than I was on April 1. That's my goal. I need to be changing. And the only way I've ever really found to change is to be rubbing up with someone, making mistakes, having to apologize, learning from them. Now, what I want you to challenge you about is you're here because you've been picked, because people think you're capable of something. Name me one little mistake you've made today, tomorrow. I'm not sorry, today, a week ago. Just one little mistake, someone. Yeah. Oops. What's that? Yeah. What I want you to do is, how much fun would it be to be going off a high dive into a really beautiful pool? How much fun would that be? Do a big old honkin' belly flop or something, just lots of splash. Now imagine the water's gone. Would you jump off that high dive into that pool? Common sense says no. But I need you to do that. I need you to fail huge so that you don't make the mistake again. The bigger the mistake, the more memory you're going to have. How many times have you failed in the last couple of years that you go, wow, I'm never going to do that again? 19 years ago, when I was fresh in the job I was working at, I was asked to do something and it didn't work out correctly. I kind of made some adjustments, not really knowing my job well enough, and the mistake I made literally cost my employer about $4,000. 19 years ago, $4,000 was a lot of money. And I wasn't sure if I was going to be employed. I was standing there with him, showing him what I'd done, knowing that maybe, possibly, pretty dang sure that my job was on the line. And I looked that man in the eye and I said, sir, if I still work here after this conversation, I can promise you this will never happen again. Ever. 19 years later, it's still true. There's several more mistakes I've made like that in different areas. But the lesson I learned was, if I'm going to fail, I need to fail big enough for that memory to really, really sting. With my wife, I've had to make some apologies. Nothing where it was egregious enough to where she would say, I'm going to divorce you. But I've had to make sure that, I shouldn't have spent the money I spent, and I'm sorry. I shouldn't have been an hour late and not let you know I was going to be an hour late. I'm sorry. But in work, what my employer's challenged me to do is he's, in a sense, given me the freedom that if I'm going to make a mistake, he wants me out there at least trying something outside of the box that I'm comfortable in, that he allows me to fail. Some of y'all are business owners. Are you out there enough, challenging yourself enough that you make a mistake where it's like, oh boy, that's a bad one. I shouldn't have talked to the customer the way I did. I shouldn't have done what I did. I should have been blah, blah, blah. Challenge yourself enough. Because 5 years ago, I wasn't out there enough. I wasn't challenging myself enough. I was stagnant. And next thing I'm going to talk about is why. Who's got a mentor? Yeah. Everybody's hand always goes up. And I'm glad they do. Now, I want your hands to go back up again if this is true. Do you know who your mentor is? And have you met him? Put your hand up if you do. Because I do. That's how I picked the mentor 18 months ago when I decided to get back into what I'm doing. Is I found a mentor, and then I asked them who their mentor was. Because I wanted to make sure that my mentor had a mentor that was challenging them enough that the mentor I was picking was going to challenge me. Because I don't need stagnant. How many people have a cat? Yeah. What's cats, what are they famous for? They're purring. They're awesome. They lick your nose once in a while. But I want you to know something. Cats stink when they go to the bathroom. Are you living in a cat box? Not even knowing it. Playing in the turds, not even knowing it, and you stink. When I was probably 24 years old, I heard a quote from someone that stuck with me 30 years now. Never believe your own publicity. What does that mean? Everybody know the story about Icarus? Icarus believed he could fly, didn't he? Had the wax wings. But Icarus believed his own publicity and thought, you know what, I can fly. And started playing with those wings and flew what? Too close to the sun. The wings melted and he died. Are you believing your own publicity? You too close to the sun. Your wings are going to melt. And you're going to fall. Sure, it's a mistake, but it will be a mistake that's going to cost you your life. Do you still want to be here in these chairs when you get reinvited back next year? I would hope so. And I hope that in a year from now when we meet, that you're a bigger, better, stronger rock star than you are today. Because there's nothing anyone can tell you that you've not already heard. We all hear speaker tapes. We all listen to really good speakers through YouTube, through the online streaming seminars that we go to. Everybody gets to hear what they hear, and there's nothing really that new. It's just the voice you're hearing. Maybe you can hear them this time. And I hope that I'm one of that voice. That you can hear something that I'm just retooling it a little bit better, a little bit stronger. So maybe it'll penetrate the rock hard head that we all have. We all have got egos. God bless us. And they're big. And I know people are sitting there just like I do when I'm sitting there listening to someone like me. You know, I'm going to steal that. I'm going to borrow that. I'm going to use that in a talk I'm going to give because you know what? They're right. But that's not what I want you to do. I want you to say, how does that fit in my life? Does it ring true for me? We're all on a beautiful trip. We're all getting ready to go. And the boat stops, and they're giving us two choices. Stay on this boat, Carnival cruise, all the amenities, water slides, shuffleboard, great comedian, but we don't know where we're going to go. We're just going to follow wherever the captain takes us. Or there's a rowboat. You can hop into that rowboat. And they know exactly where they're going. Which one do you want to go on? You want to go with the pleasure cruise? Everybody's going to have a great time? Or do some work and be part of the crew that's going to row that boat to the destination you want to go to? You know already the answer. The majority of the people in this world choose the Carnival cruise. Not a lot of people want to sit in the rowboat and do their work and be along with someone else that's doing the same amount of work. So be better than you are. Challenge yourself. Get yourself in gear. Because honestly, I've stood in front of the mirror shaving saying, you know what? I'm a wonderful person. I can do incredible things. And that stuff sounds great, but it didn't work for me. What did work for me was getting a mentor that had a mentor, and I met with them. Now, the challenge I've had to make to myself, and the challenge I'm going to make to you now is, if that mentor that you have today is the same mentor you had 5 years ago, are they still valuable to you? And are they worth keeping? Not an easy decision. But you have to take a look at it and start to move on. Because just because yesterday's news was good doesn't mean it's going to be applicable tomorrow. It doesn't mean it's going to work. It doesn't mean that it's viable. When I had to sit down with Judd and listen to him and then think about it and decide, you know what? I've heard it. I've dealt with it, and it's time to move on. And I had to walk away from Judd and get another mentor. I've had to walk away from Jerry and get another mentor. I've had to walk away from Doug and get another mentor. And because of the age I am now, unfortunately, Sam died. And I had to find another mentor. So please, honestly be willing to take a look and make sure that what you're looking at is accurate. The reason I bring that up is because, you know what, I was listening to this guy that told me never believe your own publicity. And what happened was we were meeting with Tuck, me, Bob, and Sam were all in a meeting. And our employer walked in and spent about 15 minutes talking about something. And the guy that said that looked at me and said, you know what? Does she really believe what she just said? And we said, no. She doesn't. And that's where it came back to was, he said, that's why I'm here interviewing this company, is because some of the basic goals and stuff that are going on within this company aren't matching up with the leadership of the company. We were part of a big hospital consortium that was really needing to retool themselves. And the lady that came in and talked with us for about 15 minutes had to get dismissed because what she was saying wasn't matching up with what was going on. Are you matching up with what you're talking about? The people that picked you to be here say that that's true. But they're not going home with you at night. They're not sitting at the dining room table with you at night. They're not with you at the garage station dealing with the customer service there. You're not dealing with you as you go out through your day. I can honestly tell you that I am about 99% the same person that's right here right now is the same person that's going around town, driving my truck that I love to drive, going to the places that I go to. So my challenge to you would be, how comfortable would it be for you if I spent one day talking to the people in your life about you? Would that match up with who you are right now? Most of the time it does not. There's a lot of work to do. Some basic challenge I'm going to throw at you today is it is time to saddle up. If you want to be who you want to be because of what you've talked to me about, what you spent time with me over the last 3 months about, if it's honestly true, then saddle the hell up and let's quit talking. Because it's easy to sit here and nod your head and say, yeah, but it's not true. It's a lot of hard work. There's some dragons that need to be slayed. There's some friends that need to be left behind. There's some business partners or acquaintances that need to be cut away. Are you willing to do that? Honestly willing to make that choice? Are you? I bet you're not. How do I know? No one want to volunteer? If you were been willing to do it, you'd have done it already. Because you know who needs to go. You know why they need to go. When I started to build this speech, literally 5 days ago, saddle up is what I started with. There was 3 things that came up in my face immediately. You want personal growth? Talk about something you don't want to talk about. Because everybody's heard me say this before. You cannot teach what you don't know. Mecklen's nodding his head. Dave's kind of frowning. Because it's like you cannot go where you're not willing to lead. So if you don't want to deal with some of this stuff, then you need to stay where you are. Because to get what you want to have happen, because I've been with you on each one of your all's goals. If you want to get to where we're wanting to go, some things need to change. And today's the day. So pull your smartphones out now. Let me see them. Yours is out in the truck. Everybody's got my number. And just text me right now. Are you willing to move? And the question is that. Are you willing to change? Are you willing to move? Are you willing to saddle up? And just text yes or no. Because if you text yes, that means I'm going to take you serious. If you're going to text no, no harm, no foul. We're done. Because you all heard me say this before too. If there is no enemy within, the enemy outside can do you no harm. It's your fear. It's that I'm too puny. I'm too small. I'm not good enough. And the reason I'm saying this, and Dave was there on Saturday when I came up against it, is the pastor of the church that I go to had us text publicly something that's holding us back. The number one thing every time I heard that in my head was my own puny dreams, that dirtbag mentality that's inside of me of I'm not good enough. I'm just happy where I am. And I've equated myself to Pigpen from the Peanuts cartoon. Of everywhere I go, that little dust cloud of chaos comes with me. That's my own little problem. And I need to change that. So my promise to you is, y'all are hearing me right now telling you, I have my own struggle, my own limiting belief that's holding me back because I'm comfortable where I am. But I need to go beyond. So since Saturday night, I've been working on how am I going to implement tools in my life to do the change that I need to do. Tom and I talked about it, and I'm working on that right now. Tom and I are going to be gone the last weekend of May. I'm 99% able to do that. I have to just talk to Tanya one more time to commit to it. But somewhere, either I'm going in May or I'm going in sometime in the next 6 months to something that's going to challenge me to clear up a lot of that chaos. So what are you willing to do to honestly look at yourself and say, yes, this is what's holding me back. This is my own self-limiting behavior that's saying, I am good right here. I'm happy right here. Because I can clap for you all day long. Because each one of you, I can honestly tell you that I honestly know that everybody in this room has heard me voice to voice, face to face, tell them what? I've told each one of you, I love you. I do. I love each one of you. You don't need to change because I love you. You don't need to grow because I love you. But the conversations that we've had together, you all have told me you want to change. We've met. You want to do something different. You want to be powerful, important, carrying a message that needs to be shared, needs to be heard. And I've told you all that's true. And it is. It's true. But we all have baggage. We all have things that hold us back from being that gem that we need to be. So if you text me yes, we're going to find every single thing that's holding you back, and we're going to change it. That is going to be my commitment to you. I will be there. I will stand with you. And I will help you get through what you need to get through. Because Tom sat there and told me 5 days ago when we started to build this speech that he was going to stand there with me and help me get through what I need to get through.